Welcome back to another episode of Play by Play, presented by Win or Lose Sports, sponsored by Project 360 Studios. P360studios.com is the website for all your graphics and marketing needs. Go check them out. This is episode number 14 of Play by Play. I just want to dive right into the topic of conversation for this show, for this episode, and it's going to be Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Now, since week number 9, losing to the Eagles, Prescott and the Cowboys have been on a tear as far as playing the game on offense. Defensively, they've been great, especially the last couple games, and also special teams with Brandon Aubrey as their kicker, who hasn't missed a field goal this season. 30 for 30, not a missed field goal. Cowboys are now 10-3 going into week number 14 and facing the Buffalo Bills this Sunday. So what I want to talk about is Dak Prescott and the level of play that he's been playing since week 9. Well, since before week 9, actually since they lost to the San Francisco 49ers in that game, when, from my understanding, is that Mike McCarthy didn't trust to call the plays for Dak in that game. It's not an excuse. It's just what it was. He didn't feel Dak was ready for the play calling that he wanted to present for that game. So it was minimalized. And that's how it's been over the last few years with the play calling for Dak Prescott. And we know that how athletic, first of all, Dak is with his legs. He can run the ball. Not just running the ball, but he's effective in the pocket when being pursued in pursuit by defensive linemen or linebackers or whatever in the pocket, in the backfield. So him able to use his legs. I mean, he doesn't have a ton of yards. I think it's 195 rushing yards for the season, 185 rushing yards for the season, which, you know, that's better than it's been over the last 6 seasons. Currently at 3,500 yards, 28 touchdown passes, and only 6 interceptions. They had Dak ranked number 6 in the NFL Fox NFL top 10 quarterbacks. I believe Dak Prescott is the number 1 quarterback this year so far, especially the ways he's been playing over the last few weeks. Not just winning football game, but the way they've been winning football games. There has been minimal mistakes by Dak. No interceptions. So over the last 7 weeks, 22 touchdown passes and only 2 interceptions. The 3 interceptions he had, other 3 interceptions he had was at, the other 4 interceptions he had was at San Francisco, and the other one was at Arizona. But over the last 7 weeks, he's been looking like an MVP quarterback, and nobody can say anything different. It don't matter what the competition is, who the competition is, Dak has still been looking like an elite Dak Prescott, an elite quarterback. No matter if it's against the Giants, the Rams, the Chargers, the Carolina Panthers, the Eagles. He did this twice against the Eagles. The first game we played against the Eagles in week 9, yeah, they lost that game. But it wasn't a blowout. And we had a chance to win that game. It was just a few minor adjustments that need to be made in that fourth quarter red zone drive. Obviously, they made those changes. And since then, they've been on a tear. I don't see any other quarterback that's been close to the performance that Dak has been putting out. A lot of people say Brock Purdy, and I understand that because Brock Purdy, they have been winning games. San Francisco has been winning games. Brock Purdy has weapons like Debo, Christian McCaffrey, Kittles. So you have the wins, you have the touchdown passes, you have the yardage, and you have the passing rating and the passing percentage, completion percentage. But the difference is Brock Purdy's usage or his ranking as far as quarterback like passing or his usage is only 22nd out of 32 teams, while Dak is probably at top 10, top 5. So MVP, I will say Dak Prescott. Number 1 quarterback in the league, Dak Prescott. Number 1 receiver, I will have to give it to CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb has 1,200 yards in receiving. I think 96 receptions. Yep, 96 receptions and 8 touchdown passes, touchdown catches. The way that they connect, the way that they communicate with each other, it looks like a Super Bowl team. I'm not just talking about that because I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm not saying that because I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm saying this because these are facts. This is what it's on paper. And a lot of people were saying that, they haven't played anybody. They only played teams under 500. They only played teams that are beneath them. They haven't played any winning teams. So then when we played Seattle, beat Seattle, and had no problem beating Seattle. Yeah, there were a few problems in the first half with Deron Bland covering DK Metcalf, but when they put Gilmore on Metcalf, that made a difference. And then later on, Deron Bland got the interception. Cowboys won the game. You didn't see any mistakes by Dak. You didn't see any mistakes by the offense. Got to give Seattle credit, though. They played hard-nosed defense, and they made some stops when they should have made some stops. Now we play the Eagles and beat the Eagles. What's the excuse now? What's the answer now? Is it because Jalen Hurts is dealing with an injury that he's been dealing with for the last year and a half? Is it because are they missing pieces on offense? I don't think so. They got Goddard back. Dallas Goddard came back last week, the tight end. So what's the excuse now? What's the excuse for the people who say the Cowboys aren't real? What's the excuse that they have now? Now what they're going to say is, he can win in the regular season. Let's look what's going to happen in the playoffs. This team looks different than any other Dallas team has looked over the last few years. And if you're real about football, if you're real about what you're seeing, if you're honest about it, you'll say this team does look different. This team does look better than any other Cowboys team has looked over the last few years. This team looks better than any other team in the NFL right now, besides maybe San Francisco and the Baltimore Ravens. So the conversation now is, what are they going to do now against Buffalo and Miami? And to me, Buffalo doesn't look that good. They've been struggling over the last all year, really. Still just over 500 team. They don't look like a phenomenal team. Their defense looks suspect. Josh Allen is still prone to turnovers and throwing interceptions. Who do they have on offense that'll run down our defense? They got Stephon Diggs. They got James, the running back. Like, who do they have? Who do they have that can stop Micah Parsons from getting sacks on Josh Allen and causing turnovers? Deron Bland, I guarantee, will get interceptions this week or make big plays like Gilmore did last week. With Buffalo, that's not a big challenge. That's not a huge challenge. I still think Philadelphia is better than Buffalo. I still think Philadelphia is better than Miami. That's who we play after Buffalo is Miami. And the Miami team lost to the Giants. I'm sorry, lost to the Titans this week. And the Titans aren't that great. With the backup, third string quarterback with Will Levis and Tyreek Hill, obviously hobbled a little bit with the ankle injury, but still, if that one player is the entirety of your offense or the confidence that you have in your offense, then that's the issue. That's the issue that is going to be a problem when you face a defense like the Dallas Cowboys defense. Miami's defense is something that I don't see giving us a problem, giving the Cowboys a problem. I don't see the Miami defense giving Dak, Brandon Cooks, Jake Ferguson, or CeeDee Lamb a problem, even Pollard. I don't see them highly ranked with stopping the run or in pass defense. Only problem I would see with those two games is complacency. And I don't see Mike McCarthy allowing that to happen with the momentum that they have right now, with 4 games in a row that they won and 15 in a row at home. I know they're playing in Buffalo and in Miami, but I'm thinking the Philadelphia game is a measuring stick with the rest of the NFL of how the Cowboys can dominate a winning team. If you say otherwise, then you're just being a hater. That's the truth. I don't see any defense besides San Francisco and Baltimore that'll cause the Dallas Cowboys offense a problem. I don't see any offenses besides San Francisco that will cause our defense any issues or any problems. We understand what happened in the San Francisco game. Wasn't ready. We understand what happened in the Arizona game, which most people don't talk about. Many people don't talk about what happened in the Arizona game when we had 3 of our offensive linemen on the sideline. Zach Martin on the sideline, Biotish on the sideline, Tyler Smith on the sideline. So we didn't have a full offensive line to protect Dak. So yeah, it was some problems there. Obviously, we understand what happened in the Philadelphia game. We just didn't capitalize on the moments